The lighting is fucking
You
terrible.
want me to turn it down?
Turn it down.
Let's turn it off. Let's just be shadows in the dark.
Oh my god. Wow, that's pretty bad. That's fine.
No, that's good.
Actually, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's when you're getting close.
Yeah.
Don't get close.
Or you get too far away.
It's
Because then
blinking.
you're too dark. Darkness, brothers.
Oh, you know what? Because we didn't put any of the accent lights in.
No, it's not just that. It's some other bullshit with these cameras because they suck. Because they're on auto as well.
We're streaming.
We are?
Yep.
Oh,
Hello
well, shit.
and welcome
See, we're streaming and I'm swearing.
to the lateral.
That is an old podcast.
It is.
That's dead.
It's an old sports podcast. We are about to do a podcast on The Boys, Amazon's superhero show, and this one should be very entertaining.
They're about to be like, this one's for you guys.
This one is for you. We do everything we do.
For Superman.
We do it for you.
Superman is lame. Make sure you retweet it, kids.
Oh
Yeah, let
yes,
me
retweeting.
And sharing.
I understand the Twitters.
And sharing on Facebook if you have Facebook.
I don't have Facebook.
Really? That's sad, I guess.
Retweeting. I want to say this one will be entertaining. Hashtag the boys. The boys. The boys. Retweet. All right. So, anyone watching, please let us know how you guys feel. And, ask us some questions online. We'll try to do our best to monitor what is happening. Oh, we have a Was It Good? That's good. Never mind.
Wait, did you
Yes.
did you just tell people to talk to us
Yeah.
about their feelings?
Their feelings about related specifically. I mean, you can tell us anything you want. Technically, it's an open forum. We can't
That's
stop
true.
you. But,
That's very
in general, maybe keep your comments
true. To yourself.
No, keep them
Keep your comments to yourself.
keep them about the boys, the show.
Sounds like you're backtracking.
Nope. Just clarifying. Oh, look at this.
Keep
We have
your
ads
comments.
on our Twitch stream.
We've always had ads on our Twitch stream
Why don't we get money for it?
because we're not a partner of Twitch.
Yet.
So we're using their platform for free. But yeah, I don't know. Science is hard.
Science, Mr. White.
All right, I'm going to run through this real quick. Welcome to Was It Good? I'm your host, Ravi, joined by my two brothers, Christian and Arjuna. We just finished The Boys, Amazon's newest TV show based on the comic book series written by Gareth Ennis and Derek Robertson. We're discussing the show's grotesque amount of violence, the world in which people idolize false prophets, and answering the age-old question, was it good?
But was it good?
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm ready when you kids are ready.
You spelled profits wrong.
I mean, this is my outline. I can spell it however I feel like.
That's not true.
That is totally true.
I send this
To who? To hosting.com.
to English teachers in Japan. So I have to correct it so they can use it.
Wait.
The Red Sox are already losing to the Angels 3-0.
Oh my God.
Not a
this
good
isn't-
day.
This isn't a sports podcast.
Not a good day
No
for
one
New
cares.
England sports.
No one cares.
The Revolution already
No one
down 1-0
cares.
to
No
the
one
Seattle
cares.
Sounders.
No one cares.
All right.
Lifelong fan.
Are we
Lifelong
ready?
fan.
Is that Christian? Are you ready?
We are ready.
Rav, are you ready?
Nope. Let's do
Arjuna, are you
this.
ready? I'm always ready. I'm Batman.
It's morphin' time.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go. I'm going to give us a 100 count.
3, 2,
5,
1.
4, 3, 2.
Welcome to Was It Good? I'm your host, Ravi, joined by my two brothers, Christian and Arjuna. We just finished The Boys, Amazon's newest TV show based on the comic book series written by Gareth Ennis and Derek. Derek, right?
And it's Garth, not Gareth. Unless you spelt it wrong.
No, that's copied from
All right, so yeah,
Wikipedia.
Garth.
Garth
And Derek
Ennis?
Ennis, and then
Garth Ennis and
Derek Roberts.
Derek?
Yeah.
Derek.
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 Yeah, just Derek.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Was It Good? I'm your host, Ravi, joined by my two brothers, Christian and Arjuna. We just finished The Boys, Amazon's newest TV show, based on the comic book series written by Gareth Ennis and Derek Robertson. We're discussing the show's grotesque amount of violence, the world in which people idolize false prophets, and answering the age-old question, was it good? Bros,
Nice.
how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Wasn't good.
I'm slightly hyped up on green tea,
Wow.
and so I want to talk about shifting our focus. I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
Oh, every time you have caffeine, you want to shift the focus.
I do.
Let's just stay within that one area and focus on this, which is about the boys.
Fair enough.
So let's jump in. One-word impressions, a thing that we like to do to kind of give our impression of the show.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, that's
One-word
pretty
impression.
accurate.
Nice.
You know,
Can you describe the one-word impression with one word?
unprepared. Every time we do this, and it's not like I don't know that this segment's coming. I'm going to let you both know a secret. I don't prepare before. I just kind of jump in blind.
I usually do the same, but for this
Blind.
one, I had strong feelings, and so I actually did prepare.
Yeah, you
Wrote
actually
notes.
wrote notes down.
Yes.
And this is a first. So Christian, let's start with you. What was your one-word impression?
My one-word impression, and it's also going to be my hot take,
Wow, twofer.
network.
Network.
This show
Network.
was a touch better than a network television show. You take away the swearing, how good visually it looked,
Right.
and some of the world-building aspects. This show was no better than The Arrow
Wow.
or The Flash.
That's interesting because
And so I'm going for network. And because this show came out on a subscription-based platform,
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. You must be an Amazon Prime member to watch the show. It should have been more than that. And so network is my one-word impression.
that's interesting, and we'll jump more into that, or as you say, it's your hot take, because I already have a couple of things I want to jump in, but we'll move down later in the show. We'll jump into our hot take section, which is where we kind of dissect someone's hot take based on what we're talking about. So that's later in the show. But continuing on with the one-word impression, Arjuna, what is your one-word impression for the boys?
I'm going to go with rip-off.
Rip-off. Interesting.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain why you would say rip-off?
Yeah, because it kind of to me it came off in certain parts as a wannabe Watchmen.
I want to be Watchmen.
Yeah, it's a show that wanted to take The Watchmen,
Mm-hmm.
the infamous graphic novel, the movie, the soon to becoming HBO TV show, and really explore this premise of unchecked superheroes. And it felt like at times, in good ways and bad ways, a ripoff of The Watchmen. And I don't know if we'll discuss if they nailed it or if they didn't. But yeah, it just, especially when I saw this show, like when I saw the trailers for the show and everything, I was like, oh, this is a Watchmen ripoff. And if I'd been left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have watched the show, but you guys had expressed interest in watching it. I was like, all right, we're going to do a pod. I'll give it a chance. But to me, since the beginning, it has been a ripoff.
Also, like
Interesting.
it's just the parallel to Justice League in terms of the actual characters and their superpowers. It was like
The
a
Seven.
direct ripoff. Like
It's interesting that you would say it's a ripoff.
clearly, it is.
Have you guys looked in at all? Excuse me. Have you looked at any information on the graphic novels that this is based on?
No.
Not too much.
Okay, so
Don't
not
do too much.
so. The big thing with the graphic novels, based on your point of it being a ripoff, it's supposed to be a ripoff.
Right.
It's supposed to be a ripoff because the Gareth and
Garth.
Garth. Wow, I'm terrible at this.
It's okay.
Names are hard.
Names
Can
are
I just
hard.
call people like what I want to call them?
Call them Potato Man.
Potato Man and Potato Man. Anyway, these two writers, they did express the whole kind of idea was to rip off the whole superhero trope.
Sure.
Is that, am I saying that right?
Trope. Yeah.
Christian, can you define the word trope for us?
Trope is just like a like a genre or theme or just something that unifies several works.
There we go. So for my one-word impression, I'm going to go with my favorite word of all time, which was yawn.
Really?
Yawn, yes.
Yawn.
And the reason I use the word yawn to express how I felt about this show, it's 8 episodes, and I'm going to try and tie this in. I'm kind of going out for a stretch here, but like with a yawn, you start off, at the peak. You're like, oh,
You feel it coming.
You feel it coming,
Yeah.
right? It's not there just yet, but you feel it coming. So at the very beginning, I felt the yawn coming, where I was somewhat interested. It's like a little bit different from what I've been seeing the last couple days or weeks or whatever in terms of TV shows. And at the very middle is like the peak. Your mouth is the biggest, the wide open,
intaking the
and
air.
taking the air and everything. And then by the end, the yawn has kind of closed up, and you're just done with it.
It ends with a sigh.
It ends with a sigh. Exactly. Yeah. So I say yawn, and not in a positive light, but as in it caused boredom, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boredom.
Yawn.
That was great. That was
good, right? So this comes up to, what's the sentence?
Oh, we have the sentence that is
Network.
It doesn't really make a sentence.
It does. Network rip-off yawn.
a rip-off networking on.
A rip-off network yawn. Yeah, that's something.
It's interesting. It's a little different. Bizarre, I would say. Definitely bizarre.
My other one word would have been amateurish.
Oh,
Really? I
wow.
wouldn't say it was amateurish. Did you watch Woo Assassins? That's
Yeah, I
amateurish.
watched that.
What
First
the hell is
episode.
Woo
It's
Assassins?
a new Netflix series that we are, spoiler, not going to be doing a review on because it
It's
is
so
that
good.
bad.
Well, I mean, to be honest, things that are that bad would probably make the most
Well,
entertaining.
the issue would
watching
be
it.
getting through all 8 episodes.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Woo Assassin?
Woo Assassin. It's as bad as do you remember that terrible Netflix Marvel
Fist?
thing called Iron Fist? It's
That
worse.
bad?
It's that bad. Maybe slightly worse actually, because there's like no characters that you know of, so you have no whatever care.
Yep.
And then in this, it's just not good.
It's also, there's like 20 minutes in, you think the show's going one way, and then something else completely happens, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, I mean, that could be a good thing. But anyway, we're getting off.
Yeah,
topic.
right.
So the reason I would use amateurish is I think some of the I think visually, I think they did a good job with the show. Like it does have a higher budget, and like Krishna said, you remove some of that shininess. It's a network show, but I think going with that network theme, some of the dialogue, some of the character development was
Sure.
very amateurish and not great. But we'll get there.
We'll get
We'll
there.
get there. We'll bring it up. So our next section is we do a what happened. We do this not for you all, but for us because we have short-term memories and we forget things. And we have Arjuna, the producer here. He writes this because he loves the English language.
He also has a childlike imagination.
I did it slightly differently, as there's 8 episodes.
Right.
I did an episode title for each episode,
From your perspective.
from my perspective
Nice.
of what happened in each episode.
So
All right,
each
let's
so
go
there are
through it.
8 episodes. We'll start with episode 1, and Arjuna called episode 1 Splat. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, going through the show here, we kind of we start out where what's his name? A-Train smashes into the main.
Huey's
Do we call him protagonist or antagonist?
the protagonist because the show is from his perspective.
So the
Mostly,
main
yeah.
protagonist, his girlfriend, gets splattered all over the fastest character in the show. So that was
Spoiler
great.
alerts, by the way, but yes.
Sorry?
Spoiler alert.
I mean,
This is
duh.
episode 51 of Was It Good? If you don't know, we spoil shit. Well, spoiler alert.
Sorry. Episode 2, Blowing Up Invisible Man. Or, excuse me, Blowing Up Invisible People.
It's just one person, right?
Yeah, why would you say invisible people?
People implies more than one.
Yeah. It was one person.
Well, maybe there's more than one.
What?
Because he's in multiple pieces.
Junior, you have
It's a meta joke.
failed at this. so-
Person. We're going to invisible
Yeah,
person.
Blowing up
Yeah, yeah,
invisible person. I think
Yeah.
that's what you meant. Episode 3, The Big Race. Yeah, that was a good well, she was no. It's very ESPN-like.
yeah. It was interesting.
More
how they
like
tried to
bootleg
do it, but-
ESPN.
Yeah.
Amateurish
The Ocho?
ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
The Ocho. Oh.
It's the Ocho. Episode 4, The New Addition to the Squad. What? Why would you... Why?
I should put to the boys. That's where the girl who doesn't say anything.
Oh, she joins the crew.
yeah,
that's
when
right.
they first meet her and everything.
Episode 5, Religious Camp. Surprisingly, that was actually... I thought that episode was the most interesting.
It was a high point.
It was definitely a high point because it was actually bringing in this idea of like there are superheroes, and then there's also people of religion, and then the two kind of tying in.
Yeah.
But we'll get into like what does that all mean. Episode 6, I See Dead People. Kid is all grown up. Yes, the actor that played The kid
Haley
from
Joel Osment
Yes,
Yeah.
he's in
As-
this
From The Sixth Sense.
From The Sixth Sense.
as Mesmer.
Mesmer.
Yeah, it's a mind reading.
Yeah, grabs a person, is able to
Superhero.
kind of see everything about you.
Former
Child star
star
in this world.
which is perfect for that actor.
Episode 7, everything goes to shit, literally. Was there actual poop in that episode?
No.
Oh, well then how is it literally? That everything went to shit.
Because it just is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Episode 8, more characters die and a plot twist.
Yeah.
It did. It ended on a cliffhanger. What was his name? The butcher.
Mm-hmm.
His wife still alive
Still alive
Dun,
with
dun,
a
dun.
kid.
with a kid. That's not his kid.
That's
Supposedly.
Homelander's kid.
Supposedly.
Well, doesn't his eyes light
Yep.
up at the end?
Yeah, it's
Supposedly.
Pretty much, no, we saw the eyes light up. So
that's kind of what happened.
That's the
Yeah, it's-
overall
That's
plot
the show.
of the thing.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show.
Boom.
That's it.
Was it good? Well, we're gonna end it now.
So based on what we all remember, I already kind of said what my favorite part was, which was episode 5, the religious camp. And like I said, the big reason there that I kind of enjoyed it was because, yeah, there are superheroes in this world. There are about 200 plus registered superheroes, all from a corporation, all American, that are running around, have powers, are able to do certain things, and it's a very kind of corporate-run business. And what's interesting with that episode is it's revealed that the church, the religious group that they have, they use that as a way to actually build and make these superheroes,
Right.
which is fascinating, especially in this day and age where it's, we know that churches are tax-free. There are definitely some weird, shady things that are done
yeah.
there. So it kind of ties it in nicely to a real-world example of how you're able to move and do certain things.
It also felt realistic. Like if you take super powered humans, I think an obvious reaction would be one of religiousness. Like someone being like, "Oh, it's supernatural. Clearly, it's a gift or a curse,
Yeah.
depending on what side of the fence you are. From a higher being, right?" And the fact that the show subverts that, where you actually learn where the powers actually come from. We always have this science versus religion debate. So I thought. And actually, that leads really nicely into my favorite part of the show, which is the world building. The overall concept was this really strong, powerful idea. The show did do a good job of building this world and pulling us into it. With what was the name of the corporation?
Oh, that's a good question.
I forget what the name of it is, but the overall superhero company. How people view these heroes.
Vought.
There we go. Yeah, how America seems to have a monopoly on these superheroes, and by having these superheroes, what that means for everyday life, how that affects everything, really.
Yeah.
And I thought the concept and the idea behind it was really strong. So the world building was my favorite part. Yeah.
So now you're excited for season 2.
No.
What was your favorite part, Gina?
I'm actually gonna go with the end of episode 2, where they kill Translucent. I thought that was the high point for me of the show, just because you had this whole conflict of end of episode 1, they fight him, they think they might kill him, but then they don't, and then they're trying to figure it out, and you're just wondering, it's almost like they're backed into a corner at this point, right? It's just 3 regular guys have one of the the Justice League, right? One of the 7. Homelander is right outside, like right before you're building up to this climax, and it just seems like for the character of Huey, he's just this ordinary scared guy who had has worked at a video store for most of his life. He's in episode 1 you see he's afraid to even ask his boss for a raise, and so you see this nice arc of him killing this guy, right? That he literally blows him up.
Yeah. Gets him all over himself.
And he gets him all over himself, and at that point I was excited for the show. I was like, wow, this is cool. We're gonna see this character and how he's gonna develop and really change. And that's where I was like, oh, I'm in. This show hasn't been first 2 episodes hasn't been perfect, but I'm like, I really like where this is going.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of
went off the rails.
It didn't get where I wanted it to go after that point.
I would agree, because when they blow up Translucent, the way it was done was also kind of funny. Like there's a a bomb
Yep.
shoved up his ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Huey's got the trigger right there, and I think most of us are like, yeah, he's probably not going to do it, right? But
Right.
then he does, and you're like, oh, that's refreshing. And, you know, there's blood everywhere, and you're like, and then you realize, like, that guy's butt is everywhere. He blew
I
him
mean,
up
that
from the
guy
inside
is
out.
everywhere.
He-
Like,
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
He dead. He gone.
Yeah.
He gone. He's not going to be in the next season,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
So let's move on to least favorite parts of everything.
I'll go here.
Oh, really? I thought it was the host that
So-
decided who went next.
Oh, that's fine. That's fair. Go ahead.
Arjuna, you can go.
Nice.
No, just kidding. Go
I'm
ahead, Christian.
punished.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Which one is my least favorite here? I've
Wow,
got
he's got a
several.
whole list.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the characters. The characters were my least favorite part for one reason. They felt like the first day of creative writing. They felt like the first day of assignment. Oh, create a character. Give them one flaw and one strength, and that's how you start creating characters, right?
Right.
And it feels like they create these characters and then never went beyond day one of creative writing. Every single character seems to have one flaw and one strength and nothing else. They are the most one-dimensional characters I think I've seen in a long time. We can go down the list, right?
Sure.
Homelander. His flaw is that he's a megalomaniac. His one redeeming trait, his childhood sucked, and that makes him somewhat redeeming. Translucent. What is his strength? He reads people really well. His flaw, he's a pervert. A-Train. You just go down the list, right?
But aren't they? I think they were supposed to be designed that way so that you hate them.
No, what I'm
'Cause
saying
you're
is
showing, like,
you
true
can
hatred.
hate characters, but you hate them more when they're complex. Look at Game of Thrones, right? We
Okay.
like to love shit on Game of Thrones, but at least every character had shades to them, right? They had several things to them. These characters had one or two things to them. Like what's her name? Starlight. She's really good morally. Her flaw, she's really naive, and that's the only two sides of each character that we ever got.
Well, but she also has like dad issues because her dad abandoned her.
Okay, yeah, that was mentioned one. That feeds into it a little bit, but the characters to me felt flat and one-dimensional,
I thought the characters.
and also that led into their really that they were flat. Like the dialogue was flat. If honestly you take out, and also the use of swear words in this show, it felt like they were just thrown in to add shock value. But to me, it came off like childlike. Like nobody says fucking that many times in a real life conversation. So that pulled me out as well. The dialogue and the characters were just I just couldn't get into it.
I say we challenge Christian to drop the F-bomb as many times as we can.
No, because
I could,
No,
but
you-
it would come across as
How
fake.
fucking dare you? You fucking fuck.
Yeah, like sometimes you'd be watching this thing and all of a sudden Homelander drops the F word, like fucking, right? And I'm just like, that wasn't necessary, and it just pulled me out. I'm like, and it seemed like the writing was bad and the characters were bad, so they would try and throw in these swear words to add emotion, to
Right.
add fake emotion.
I think some of the I think it's sad because you had some good actors in there, and I think they tried their best
Yeah.
with some
Wait,
of the
wait.
performances.
So you guys don't think Homelander was great? Like I thought
I-
he did an amazing
I
job.
I liked the actor and what he did. I just wish he had better material to work with. Like
Absolutely.
I thought that the actor they got to play Homelander and what they were going for to be
was
like
perfect.
It was perfect, and I think he when he wasn't talking and everything and during the movements, like more of the stuff the actor can control.
Yeah.
he was great. You know what I mean? Like just some of the facial expressions, some of like the intimidation,
Yeah.
his reactions were great. But it's when he had kind of
When
a
you
lot
have
of
to
that
talk though,
shitty dialogue.
it was terrible. I'm like,
It
that's when
wasn't
it came
great.
across as amateurish and network.
and
And
like
network
right.
with some swear words thrown in. That's exactly what it
and,
felt
like,
like.
But the
Carl-
thing though
yeah.
with Homelander, right, is he was it's revealed that his childhood was like in a lab essentially, right?
Yeah.
He has
Cliche.
he has basically, to me, his character came across as a man child, right?
Yeah.
Where he is unstoppable, he has nothing, and his life is kind of like a yawn.
Yeah.
And the fact though, like the another part that I really enjoyed was when it's revealed that he was the one that gave terrorists the blue compound 52 or whatever,
Sure.
and built himself his own villains.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing, and how that scene kind of played out. I truly was like, I didn't see that coming.
That-
I thought it was the girl from Vox.
Yeah, for sure.
Thought.
Right.
But and so to me, the strength of that is the world building.
Right.
The weakness though is, and the idea around that is really cool. The concept is awesome. The execution for me was lacking. As in, like that, all that stuff is great. The lines that he has to deliver and just the
But look at it this way: if Homelander is, for all intents and purposes, he is a man-child, right? So forget that he is a fully grown adult male.
Yeah.
And that imagine it's a child.
So you're saying that the lines that he is given
Yes.
is that of like a child delivering
Correct.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He's just a
I would
blunt-
buy that.
he's a
I would
blunt-
buy, no,
but
and
he's
I
a-
would have bought that
Yeah.
if every other character
Yeah.
had better lines to deliver and weren't put into the same situation. I think that would have made Homelander just as powerful and believable. There were some lines that Starlight delivered
Yep.
that I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I can't believe this is like it's like a I don't know, it's like network television. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, specifically Huey and Starlight, going back to the Watchmen analogy, remind me a lot of Night Owl and Silver Spectre, where they're just kind of like the protagonist characters, but they're like the least interesting, most flat type of characters that you have there. I'm much more interested in the rest of the boys, right? Like, I really, Carl Urban's a great actor. I like a lot of the stuff he's in, and I thought, he embodied who that character was. Again, I think he was failed by a lot of shitty dialogue that kind of had to be delivered, but I believed a lot of his performance. Like, I thought he played this man who's lost so much and has nothing to lose a lot in the show. Like Frenchie and Frenchie's story I thought was cool, and then they just made him kind of obsessed with the other part of their team, and that kind of felt annoying to me because I thought he was an interesting character his first few episodes before she comes in. And Mother's Milk was another character, where he had the family dynamic and trying to keep it separate. I thought was interesting, and I wish, those are characters I wish had more to do instead of just kind of, like Christian said, these flat dynamics of like, here's your one redeeming trait, and here's your one other
Yeah,
thing.
it felt like I don't know. It just felt like certain qualities of these characters were just hammered at you,
Right.
And I'm just like, give us some more subtlety, I don't know. It just felt like I keep saying it. Also, I'm really hyped up on caffeine right now. I'm like,
Oh my
I'm like
god.
kind of jittery.
Oh my
but,
god.
you
Arjuna, what's your least favorite part?
I think for me, my least favorite part has to be one specific character, and I have a rant about this later, but it's the Deep.
No, throw your rant into.
So I'll throw my rant in here. His arc, especially in the second half of the show, made no sense. I was very confused by it.
Yeah.
I still question why they even bothered with scenes with him.
Yep.
Like it didn't
do anything.
It didn't pay off in any way. It didn't actually add to the story in any way.
Well, the story right now, I think he's going to be integral in season 2. I think we're jumping at. I mean, I've got a crazy theory too about season 2,
Sure.
but I think it's building towards something there.
Yeah, but even with a show like
Yeah.
you still need some type of. There still needs to be some indication of where it's going. To me, this is what it felt like. It felt like I was watching a commercial within the show of this really bad superhero. Like, if that makes any sense, right? Like it didn't match the tone. It didn't match anything that was going on in the show. You know what I mean? Like when he's in the middle of the country and he's like, "You suck," and he's shaving his hair and stuff. It's like, I don't what does this have to do with anything that's going on in the show right now? He's completely separated from what they're doing, and you know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like if they're doing something with him in season 2, hold all these scenes for season 2 and have like a deep episode in season 2 of like, this is what he was up to when he left, and then it leads into this or something. Just to sprinkle it in randomly into season 1 with it not paying off with any of the arcs in season 1 that's going on.
But then it would have
We're very
made sense
confused.
because he played an integral part to Starlight's character, obviously, in episode 1.
Sure.
So it wouldn't make sense that all of a sudden you don't see this terrible human being. They set him up as a villain, and then he goes through this,
But he's the least villainous of the 7,
which is
in the
fucked
end of the day.
up.
You know what I mean?
Right. Which is
And
why I think it's building towards
Well, I
something.
think you could have done this. I think if I was writing for the show or whatever, right? So you have the same thing. He has a sexual assault of Starlight. He gets outed. He's sent away.
Right.
Right? Once he's sent away, with the rest of the season 1 arc, what the boys are doing and trying to infiltrate and take down Homelander, he's not involved in that storyline right now so far. So have him sent away and stay away for the rest of season 1. If he's reintroduced in season 2 because he comes back to the team or the boys recruit him or something like that, bring him back and have an episode or a half episode or whatever that catches up on what he's done and show that character arc. To randomly put that in with no idea of where that's going, is just too jarring to me as like as a viewer and as a creative. How does that serve? Like, how does the scene of him shaving his head in that specific episode tell the story of that episode? It doesn't. It's just a complete distraction, and it almost comes off as like cheesy comic relief.
Yeah, it felt ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which episode was that in?
I think that was in 7 or 8. Like,
And then you don't see him again, right?
yeah, like you. I think in the last few episodes you have these moments of him like at the gas station, people calling him a loser, and like you have him like go there, and then he's assaulted by the woman, right? Because like that she plays with his like fins, and then
His gills.
his gills, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the shaving of his head scene, and like he's in the supermarket, and then he tries to save the lobster, and it gets killed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have all these ridiculous scenes, and it's just
It was weird.
it doesn't make any sense.
I actually enjoyed most of those scenes, but for the wrong reasons. Because they felt so
Ridiculous.
different and ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked them because they were so bad, if that makes any sense. You
It
know
was
what I'm
so
saying?
bad. It was good. So my
Yeah.
least favorite part. Which one to pick? so many parts that were just so silly.
Oh, I know.
Which one?
The CGI.
No, actually, the CGI was pretty good for a network show.
That's not a network show, though. That's the point.
What did you think of the CGI when what's her face's face melted?
Vought Lady?
Yeah, Vought
Yeah.
Lady. That was pretty disgusting.
That was
actually.
like-
It's gross.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite part is actually gonna be Which character was it? I have to remember. This is hard when you're hosting and you're supposed to be answering questions and you can't remember.
You should write notes.
I should write notes. I
Describe the
think
character.
honestly, I think it's gonna be Huey.
Huey.
Huey was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
He was annoying, which is fine because something traumatic had happened to him. But then it got weird to me because he got over his girlfriend way too quick.
What do you mean? He kept seeing her ghost.
Right, but then he ends up sleeping with Starlight, and I get it.
That whole thing felt fake.
weird.
Yeah,
It felt weird.
It's like they wanted. Here's what I think happened. Right, they wanted to develop this thing with Huey and Starlight, but the writers knew, the audience isn't going to accept that. So let's just have him keep seeing the ghost, and that's going to cause him to like the ghost of his dead girlfriend, right? And,
Yep.
and that felt thrown in
Yep.
to make you sympathize with Huey, and then accept that it's sort of slowing down him and Starlight, but not really. Let's be honest. I mean, it was, again, it felt amateurish and networky, and no.
That whole relationship, like, it doesn't feel realistic. Like they sat on a bench and then they just like continued this relationship,
Yeah.
and
It's just
it was confused. Like do you remember that one episode they have with Huey? Like he's in the bar and he's like, childhood friend comes up to him and he's like, "Hey man, I haven't heard from you in a long time." You never see that guy again.
yeah.
Like some of the decisions in this show, like it almost felt like it was on the fly and like pivoting every episode, like
Yeah.
with every writer, director, and everything. It's just like, oh, I know this is the direction of the show, but we're gonna do this instead for this
Oh,
episode.
man.
And it just all felt disjointed.
Let's move into theories here to kind of keep it all together. Are we for theories here? I guess does anyone have a theory they want to start with? Because after this, I want to jump into kind of our bold predictions for season 2. I mean, the biggest thing. Do you have one?
No, go ahead.
The biggest thing, obviously, is what's revealed in this show is that Compound 52 is man-made.
Yes.
People aren't born with it. Maybelline. See what I did there?
I did.
Yeah. So this company Vought is creating superheroes, and then obviously Homelander's now creating supervillains, which I think is fan-fucking-tastic. But beyond that, I don't think there's anything too crazy in terms of theories. It's all kind of laid out for us.
Well, one question I think I have is, are there other superhero teams within the United States that are like not government sanctioned or privatized? And are there some around the world, right? Because
I would say no, because remember, the big thing was the Vought lady was questioned by the Secretary of Defense,
sure.
saying, how the hell did your product get out there? Or how did another superhero come out there? So they know that the product is
Right.
there that creates superheroes.
But it's like the atomic bomb, right? Just because only one place creates it first doesn't mean it doesn't get created later. So are there other because wouldn't it be right if the public believes that people just start getting superpowers?
Yeah.
It would be weird if just Americans were the ones getting superpowers, right?
Yeah, but in that-
somebody would have put
yeah.
the connection together.
And I'm sure they've been taken out.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, but wouldn't I'm just saying? I'm sure. I feel like maybe I wonder if in this universe other countries have developed their own compound and there are other superheroes, internationally.
I'm sure that's going to be
and
like
whatever.
a season 2, you know.
Maybe.
figure it
I
out,
mean,
like-
they would have. I feel like it would have been said somewhere. Like back on the idea of world building here, it was such a big like revelation that a terrorist has superpowers.
I think it was a line. There was a line early on too, where the whole idea of the government not sanctioning heroes to be in the military is that they're not needed.
Well,
which
and
mean-
money,
which-
right?
Right, which means that.
The
I
threat
think
doesn't
that's- I
exist
think there's
outside
another
the
line somewhere where it's like
Yeah.
there are no heroes outside of America.
Right.
I'm almost positive it's in there.
and
It's
back,
just not super loud.
and back to like to tie it into like real world events that just happened today, for example, with weird people doing weird things because government people don't want certain secrets coming out.
Oh,
I think it's one of those things where it's people probably in the back of their minds are kind of like, yeah, why are there only superheroes in the United States? But nobody's going to dig into it because nobody wants to know the truth. The truth is scary. So, and I
is
think
get
the
you
show,
killed,
the show kind of plays into that idea of like, I think people know, but nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Bold predictions. Who's got one? I've got a crazy one.
let's go with yours.
The crazy one that I have is that all of the characters in the 7 are gearing up in some aspect where they're going to side with Starlight and Huey to go against Homelander, and that's going to be the only way that you can take down Homelander. Now, I read somewhere in Arjuna, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is going to only be 3 seasons.
I'm not sure if that's true.
I read it
That would
somewhere. I
be
can't
cool.
remember where, but I think the idea is that this is a 3-season show, and then it's kind of done.
That's good.
Well, the series has a beginning, middle, and end, right?
Yep.
It's not like a continuing comic book like
Yeah.
The Walking Dead or something like Attack on Titan. I know that's like a manga but coming to an end, but if they've planned the show out correctly, they know how it's going to end and how long they would technically need.
Yeah.
So I think 3 I mean, that might make sense. I don't know how long the comic book is. Like how many?
It's only 9 episodes.
Nine.
9 issues, yeah.
Okay.
So this might cover the first 3. The first season might cover the first 3, middle 3, last 3. Depending on if they go with those, for the seasons.
Right.
That's interesting. I mean, it sounds like then there's at least for me, I know a lot of people do like this show, but for me, maybe there's a little bit of redemption in that it's because it's self-contained.
Right.
Maybe certain decisions were made for certain reasons, for later on in the show, like the Deep, for instance. Maybe,
Right.
And like I said, I like that stuff with the Deep for all the wrong reasons. So I don't know. Maybe I end up liking it for the right reasons, depending on what we see down the line.
Right.
So I don't know. The Boys, it's interesting because I actually was very entertained by the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was entertained by it the same way that I'm entertained by some of the more ridiculous Rocky movies.
Right.
Yeah,
because I mean, to be transparent with our listeners, we watched the show pretty quickly. Like
Yeah.
we watched
In 2 days, I
2
think.
days.
in like 2 or 3
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
So it at the very least it captured our attention enough
Yeah.
to finish it and watch it quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I know it seems like at least some of us are bashing it a lot, but the fact that we sat there for 2 days straight and watched the whole thing from beginning to end means it did keep our interest, and that it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Right.
So we might not be giving it the
justice.
that it deserves,
The
but
Justice League.
yeah, the issues are still glaring and apparent.
Christian, a bold prediction?
I don't really have any. Kind of like Ravi already said, I feel like what we got in the first season seems pretty obvious how it's gonna go.
Yep.
But that's actually what gives me hope because I don't have a bold prediction and I don't have any theories. I think that means I'm set up to be quite surprised.
Right.
So I actually think that's a good thing.
So here's my bold prediction. I think the show plays with morality a lot. I think they try to color every character as gray. I mean, Ravi even said at the beginning, like, is Huey a protagonist or an antagonist? And while they didn't necessarily succeed in the show, I thought they at least tried to do some interesting things, and I hope, I don't know anything about the comic book. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't want to read it.
I don't know how like true to the material it is, and if any of our listeners out there or any people watching the live stream right now know, like, message us and let us know.
Oh, the differences? I read a couple.
Oh, okay.
One of the biggest differences actually is that the boys,
Mm-hmm.
they actually use Compound V or whatever the compound is to
Enhance themselves.
enhance themselves so that they can actually go toe to toe with some of the soups.
So
that's
maybe
that's definitely season 2.
that maybe happens in
They
season
definitely
2.
bring that in because I
Well,
I
it
thought
happens right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, as they first hire on Huey and stuff, they're taking it.
Yeah, I'm guessing though because that was so obvious to me once you found Compound 2. I was waiting for Huey or the Butcher to take it.
Right.
So I mean that just seems so obvious.
So that's my bold prediction. I think the true antagonist of the full show isn't Homelander. I'm gonna go with. I think Billy Butcher will be the guy that Huey ends up fighting at the end. Right. I think he's the guy that holds him back the most, and the show will end maybe in season 2 or maybe in season. I think there will be some type of reckoning between the two, and I think some characters on the 7 will join like Huey's team, and I wonder if like other people will join Billy's team. Like I don't think it's as pegged
Like
as
the
we think
soups
it
versus
is.
the boys.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
it's
that makes
I don't
sense.
think it's as pegged because then it seems too obvious, and I think that maybe they try to establish like this is the obviousness, and I think season 2 is going to be like now we flip your expectations a little bit, and I think that's what they did kind of with the show. At the end of the season, not that it like wasn't super obvious, but I think what wasn't super obvious to me was why didn't Homelander just kill Billy? That would be so in his character to do that, right? Maybe he does that in the first 2 seconds of season 2.
Yeah.
But-
Billy Butcher?
Yeah, but the fact that he like kept him alive and brought him to his wife and his son,
Well, I think
is
it's one of those
interesting.
things he wants to rub in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, isn't that like for
That's
him
right up
for
his alley.
for a person who's like so psychotic like Homelander? It's going to be a lot better and more satisfying for him to show this character. Look, that's your dead wife, and look, that's my son.
With your
As
dead
oppo-
wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
as opposed to like killing him.
Yeah.
and then he'll kill him.
Then he'll kill him.
Maybe. Or maybe he's like maybe the fact that Butcher is expending so much time and energy to get back at Homelander, isn't it better for Homelander to keep him alive and be like as a taunt like you can't hurt me. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. Like Butcher thought that by killing the Vought lady,
The Vault Lady's name, by the way, is Madeline Stillwell.
by killing Madeline that would hurt Homelander, and Homelander's like,
I'll do it.
this
for
is
you.
how you cannot hurt me. He does it for him.
Right.
Yeah. But then again, now that Homelander has a son, there's
he's
another
gonna-
avenue.
yeah, he's gonna
for
go after-
Butcher to go.
Yeah, he's going to go
him
after
and
the
hurt him.
son, and to Arjuna's point, maybe that's what Huey's like. Okay, this is too insane. You're going after a child.
Well, we've seen the disconnect, right? Huey and Billy separated in the last episode. Like Huey went after to go save Frenchie and Mother's Milk.
Yep.
And Billy's like, nope, I'm hell bent on this revenge mission. They're on their own.
Yep.
So I think I don't think they're just gonna come back together naturally. I think there is gonna be some antagonism, and there's a schism between them.
Christian, do you have a bold prediction or?
I don't. Not really.
Christian's bold prediction is there are no more bold predictions.
I have a bold prediction for Krishna.
All right,
ahead.
this will be Christian's.
Krishna's going to end up watching season 2.
No, I'm gonna watch. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. That's not a prediction. You do that.
What a story, Mom.
I'm Kawhi.
You are Kawhi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that
Well, I
time?
think it's that time, kids.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start.
Why?
Ravi, was The Boys good?
Yes.
What?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I
Like,
am
I thought it was
shocked.
good.
Wait, what?
Shocking.
No.
I thought it was a good
you
show.
were dissing it the whole time.
Sure, but it still makes me stop and think about superheroes, religion, evil corporations. Like, to Christian's point, the acting, all that may be terrible, but the world building is still something to sit back and think about.
Cool.
Interesting. So
All right.
that's why I liked it. And to that, I will definitely watch it again.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
There you go.
damn.
Christian, was The Boys good?
No. So actually, it's almost like the exact same reasons, but the end result is flipped. The world building was great. The
Yep.
concept is great, and I'm hopeful for the next season because there's a lot of raw material to work with. It's a good cast. It's just that I don't trust the writing and the direction that they use. But the visuals were great. I just couldn't get past some of the networky elements, like the dialogue and the characterization of some of most of the characters.
So, will you watch it again, like season 1?
Probably not. No.
Let me
You
tell-
will watch season 2.
It depends. If season 2 and season 3 are good, and they correct some of the things that I didn't like, then yeah, I would watch season 1 again to tie it all together. But I'm not hopeful. But I am hopeful. It's strange. I'm very conflicted on this show.
I'm not hopeful, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm
Arjuna,
thankful.
was The Boys good?
I started when I first watched the show. I had one answer, and I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna say this one thing, and I would have said if you'd asked me right after the show, I would have said yes, it was good.
Wow.
But after a few days of thinking about it, and even like with this podcast and talking about it, I've changed my mind. I'm to a no, because I think the quality. For me, was I entertained? Yes, but was it a quality show that I could truly recommend and say this is good television? No, I can't say that, and because of that, I have to say it is not good. But I think kind of like Christian, but probably more so. I am interested to see what happens with season 2. I do think there is some hope. I think they have the pieces to make a good show, and I think with some changes, I think season 2 could be a very good season. But I can't say at this moment it is good.
That was the weirdest answer ever. It's just supposed to be a simple yes or no.
Well, I wanted to explain myself to the people.
Wait, so what was the end result?
I know, it's such a...
yeah.
I
He
said
said
no.
We went
He
on
said
a,
no.
We
He
went on
said
a
no.
journey, and I lost the destination.
To clarify, Arjuna does not
Okay.
think The Boys is good.
Will you watch season 1 again?
No, I will not.
You won't.
Mm-mm.
Interesting. I'm shocked by that answer.
Shocked, I say.
This is a good one.
This was a good one.
You were Christian trolling us as per normal. Thank you, folks, for listening. This was It Good? We just reviewed The Boys, Amazon's superhero
We should
insane
indicate
show.
The Boys season 1.
The Boys season 1.
Yes.
You can find us on Twitter at Was It Good, on Instagram at Was It Good BTM, on Twitch at Was It Good. Yeah, that was the show. So goodbye.
Farewell.
The most awkward ending ever. And you can kill the live stream as well, because I don't want to talk to anyone.
Wait, do we have any questions?
There were no questions.
All right, goodbye, people.